Welcome to U.S. Numismatics, your treasure map to the world of rare U.S. coins. In just minutes, we'll uncover the stories, secrets, and surprising values behind the coins you might already own. Let's dive in and see what hidden gems are waiting to be discovered. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1985 United States 5-cent coin. It's a coin millions of Americans have seen, spent, and forgotten about, but what if I told you that there's a version of this coin that collectors are going crazy for, and it could be sitting unnoticed in someone's old change jar right now? Let's break this down. The 1985 5-cent coin, commonly called the Jefferson nickel, features the familiar profile of Thomas Jefferson on the front. It's a design that's been part of American coinage since 1938. His face is calm, dignified, almost timeless. And on the reverse, you've got his home, Monticello, a domed structure that's instantly recognizable to coin collectors around the world. Now here's the twist: while this coin was produced in massive quantities at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, not all 1985 nickels are created equal. In fact, a very small number are hiding something special, something that turns a 5-cent piece into a rare and highly valuable treasure. You see, collectors are obsessed with details. They look at things most people never notice. One of the biggest factors that increases a coin's value is condition. If your 1985 nickel is in near-perfect shape, no scratches, no wear, no blemishes, it already stands out from the crowd. A coin that has never seen circulation, kept safe for decades, has a much higher value in the eyes of a collector, but condition is just the beginning. What really makes this coin special, what sends collectors into a frenzy, is a rare combination of striking errors and unique features. One of the most coveted characteristics is what's called full steps. This refers to the stairs at the front of Monticello on the back of the coin. Most nickels show these steps worn down or faint, even right from the mint. But on a few exceptionally well-struck coins, every single step is sharp and visible. That's a rarity. Full steps equals full value in the collector world, but it doesn't stop there. Imagine finding a coin with a striking error. Maybe it was minted off-center, or double-struck, or perhaps even created on the wrong metal planchet. These kinds of minting mistakes are incredibly rare, and each one tells a story. It's like a glitch in the system that slipped through unnoticed. To collectors, these aren't flaws, they're treasures. Now combine one of these dramatic errors with a coin in mint condition, and throw in those crisp full steps, and suddenly, you're not holding just a nickel anymore. You're holding a collector's dream. For those who love the thrill of the hunt, this is what it's all about. It's not just the metal, or the date, it's the history, the rarity, the tiny imperfections that make a coin one of a kind. And the 1985 5-cent coin has become a surprising star among rare finds. People all over the world are now paying close attention, checking their collections, and flipping through rolls of nickels looking for that perfect piece. So, how much could one of these rare 1985 nickels actually be worth? If you happen to have one in flawless, uncirculated condition, with a major minting error or a perfect full step strike, your coin could be valued at a staggering $78,000. Yes, $78,000, for a single 5-cent coin. That's the magic of coin collecting. Sometimes the most valuable things are hiding in plain sight. Top 2, we're talking about a coin that millions of people have seen and used, yet very few realize could be worth thousands. That's right, we're shining a spotlight on the United States 5-cent coin from the year 1990. And trust me, this is not your average nickel. Now at first glance, there's nothing flashy about it. It's a modest coin, bearing the classic image of Thomas Jefferson on the front. He's been the face of the nickel since 1938, and the design stayed largely the same through 1990. On the back, you've got Monticello, Jefferson's stately home in Virginia, along with the words, E pluribus unum, United States of America, and, of course, the denomination, 5 cents. So, what makes this ordinary-looking coin so extraordinary? Well, not every coin minted is exactly the same. Even in 1990, when minting technology had become quite advanced, some nickels slipped through the cracks with imperfections that now make them incredibly rare. We're talking about errors, variations, and grading conditions that drive collectors absolutely wild. Let's start with condition. Most coins go through a lot. They get dropped, scratched, rubbed, tossed in vending machines, and forgotten in pockets. But a coin that has somehow survived in pristine, uncirculated condition? That's already special. Coins that have been stored properly, untouched by circulation, can receive high grades from professional grading services. The higher the grade, the higher the value, especially if it's mint state 66 or above, but rarity isn't just about condition, it's also about uniqueness, and that's where errors come into play. In the world of coin collecting, an error isn't a mistake, it's an opportunity. Some of the most valuable 1990 nickels have minting errors like off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing or pushed to the side. Others were struck on the wrong type of metal planchet, perhaps a leftover from a different denomination. These are known as wrong planchet errors, and they are extremely rare. There are also double die errors, where the design was struck twice, causing letters and numbers to appear blurry or shadowed. And then, there's a collector's favorite, the full steps designation. Look at the steps on Monticello. If you can count 5 or 6 sharp, uninterrupted steps under the dome, congratulations, you may have a full steps nickel. These are highly desirable, because they indicate a perfect strike from a fresh die. That kind of precision is hard to find, especially from 1990. Now combine a mint error like an off-center strike or double die with a full steps detail and near-perfect condition, and suddenly, this humble nickel transforms into a collector's dream. It becomes more than just currency, it becomes a historical artifact, a conversation piece, a prize. Collectors around the world are constantly searching for coins like this. They know that these rarities don't come along often, and when they do, the value can be astounding. What looks like spare change to one person could be the holy grail to another. So, here's the big reveal. If you're lucky enough to own a 1990 United States 5-cent coin in uncirculated condition, featuring a major minting error and full steps detail, it could be worth a life-changing amount. We're not talking about $20, or even a few hundred. We're talking about a staggering $74,000, yes, you heard that right, $74,000 for a single nickel. It's stories like these that make coin collecting so exciting. Behind every coin, there's a possibility. And that's why it pays, literally, to pay attention. So before you toss your next nickel into the coin jar, take a second look. Because you never know which one might just be your hidden treasure. Top 3. We're diving deep into one of the most common, and surprisingly valuable, coins in American history, the United States 5-cent coin from the year 1964. At first glance, this nickel looks like any other. Millions of them were minted. In fact, 1964 holds the record for the highest number of nickels ever produced in a single year. Over 2 billion came out of the Philadelphia and Denver mints. That's right, 2 billion. So how could one of these coins be worth more than some cars, luxury vacations, or even a down payment on a house? The secret lies in the details. Let's start with the design. On the front, you'll see the well-known image of Thomas Jefferson, facing left with his name behind him and the phrase, "In God We Trust," in front. Flip it over, and there's the iconic Monticello, Jefferson's grand home, centered under the words, E pluribus unum. This design had already been in use for decades by 1964, but that year marked a turning point in coin history. You see, 1964 was the last year the mint used this original design before switching to newer versions and beginning to change materials and finishes in later years. It was also a year when the US government was trying to combat coin hoarding due to rising silver prices. Yes, even though nickels didn't contain silver, people were holding on to all coins in fear of losing value. Now, here's where things get exciting for collectors. Most of the 1964 nickels are only worth face value, unless they fall into one of a few highly collectible categories that make them rare, valuable, and extremely sought after. First, let's talk about full steps. Collectors love this detail. On the back of the coin, at the base of Monticello, there's a staircase. Most coins show those steps as blurry or incomplete due to worn dies. But when you find a 1964 nickel where all 5 or 6 steps are clearly visible, perfectly struck, and uninterrupted? You've got a rarity. These are known as full steps nickels, and they're considered the gold standard for Jefferson nickel collectors. Now combine that with an uncirculated condition, a coin that has never been touched, scratched, or worn down by use, and the value jumps significantly. The best of these coins are certified and graded by experts, often reaching grades like MS65, MS66, or even higher, but that's not all. There are also mint errors from 1964 that are considered highly valuable. These include off-center strikes, where the design is shifted to one side, or double die obverse, where the coin has a noticeable doubling in the text or Jefferson's image. Some errors are subtle, others are dramatic. But all of them increase the coin's desirability. And then there's the rarest of all, the coin struck using leftover proof dies or with unusual planchet mistakes. These coins were never meant to be released, yet somehow made it out of the mint and into circulation. Today, they are considered collector's gold. The combination of a high-quality strike, a rare error, and pristine condition make certain 1964 nickels stand out like diamonds among gravel. So, what's the bottom line? If you happen to have a 1964 Jefferson nickel with full steps detail, no signs of wear, and possibly even a unique mint error, you might just be sitting on a hidden treasure. One of these coins, yes, a 5-cent coin from 1964, has been valued as high as $69,000. That's right. $69,000 for a coin that most people overlook as ordinary pocket change. So the next time you come across an old nickel, don't just pass it by. Look closely. That simple piece of metal could hold a story, a secret, and a serious amount of money. Top 4. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1986 United States 5-cent coin, yes, the humble nickel. While it may seem ordinary at first glance, certain versions of this coin are far from common. In fact, one rare variation has fetched jaw-dropping prices on the collector's market. So sit back, listen closely, and let's uncover the story behind the 1986 nickel that's turning heads in the coin community. Let's start with what you know. The 1986 nickel features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front, just as it has since 1938. On the reverse, there's his famous home, Monticello, sitting proudly beneath the words, E pluribus unum. The design may look simple, even routine. But hidden among the millions of coins struck that year are a few extremely special pieces. Millions of 1986 nickels were minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver facilities. Most of them went straight into circulation and have lived hard lives, passed from hand to hand, worn down, scratched, and forgotten. But a few, a very select few, avoided all that. Now, what separates a valuable 1986 nickel from an ordinary one? Let's talk condition first. Coins that are untouched by circulation, flawless, shiny, with every detail still crisp, are considered mint state or uncirculated. The highest grades go to those with absolutely no signs of wear, and these are extremely desirable for collectors. A 1986 nickel in mint state 65 or higher is already uncommon. But that's just the beginning. The real stars are the ones with the rare full steps designation. If you've ever taken a magnifying glass to a Jefferson nickel, look at Monticello's front steps. Most nickels have steps that are blurry or partially missing due to worn dies or weak strikes. But a coin with 5 or 6 complete, razor-sharp steps? That's a full steps nickel, and collectors go wild for them. They're proof that the coin was struck with maximum precision using a fresh die. And now we add the rarest ingredient of all, minting errors. These can include double die errors, where parts of the design or lettering appear double due to a misalignment in the minting process. Or off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't properly aligned, leaving part of the design missing or shifted. There are also die cracks, clipped planchets, and even coins accidentally struck on the wrong type of metal. These mistakes are not flaws, they're rare anomalies that increase a coin's value dramatically. Now, imagine having a 1986 nickel that checks all the boxes, it's in pristine condition, shows full steps detail, and has a major error, something like a double die obverse or off-metal strike. That's not just a collector's dream, it's a jackpot waiting to happen. What makes this all so exciting is that coins like this often go unnoticed for years. Someone could have one sitting in their coin jar right now, completely unaware of what they're holding. And that's what makes coin collecting such a thrilling hobby. It's like treasure hunting, and every coin could be the one. So, how much could the rarest of the 1986 5-cent coins actually be worth? Here's where your jaw might drop. A top-grade, error-affected, full steps 1986 Jefferson nickel has been valued at an incredible $66,000. Yes, you heard that right. $66,000, for a single nickel. That's the magic of rare coins. It's not always about gold or silver, it's about history, rarity, and condition. It's about spotting what others overlook. And who knows? Maybe you've got one of these treasures waiting to be discovered. Top 5. We're about to explore one of the most underrated yet surprisingly valuable coins in American history, the 1972 United States 5-cent coin, also known as the Jefferson nickel. At first glance, this coin doesn't look like much. You've probably seen hundreds just like it. With Thomas Jefferson's profile on the front and the elegant Monticello on the back, the design seems familiar and even a bit forgettable. But don't let its simplicity fool you. Hiding among the millions of 1972 nickels are rare gems that collectors would do just about anything to get their hands on. Let's start with a little background. In 1972, both the Philadelphia and Denver mints struck a large number of 5-cent coins. These were intended for everyday circulation, not special editions. That means most of them ended up in pockets, cash registers, and vending machines. They were handled, tossed, and spent, day after day. Because of this, finding a 1972 nickel in great condition today is already a challenge. But that's only part of the story. What really gets collectors excited is when a coin from a common year like 1972 turns out to have unusual minting errors or design details that make it truly one-of-a-kind. One of the biggest factors that drives value in Jefferson nickels is something called full steps. Take a close look at the base of Monticello on the reverse side. If all 5 or 6 steps are fully visible, clearly separated, and perfectly struck, the coin is designated as a full steps nickel. This level of detail means the coin was made using a fresh die and struck with precision. And because the dies wear out quickly, only a small number of coins ever leave the mint with full steps quality. Now let's add another layer of rarity: minting errors. These can come in many forms: double die strikes where the image or letters appear doubled, off-center strikes where the coin design is misaligned, or even die cracks, which look like thin raised lines across the surface. There are also rare instances where nickels are struck on the wrong metal planchet altogether. Imagine a nickel that weighs less or more than it should because it was struck on a dime or penny blank. Each of these errors turns a regular 1972 5-cent coin into a collector's dream. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Sometimes, a coin will combine multiple rare features. Let's say a 1972 nickel that has full steps and a double die error and is in uncirculated condition. That's the kind of coin that doesn't just catch attention, it makes headlines in the numismatic world. What makes coins like these so captivating is the idea that they were never meant to stand out. These weren't proofs or special commemorative coins. They were just ordinary nickels that, due to a perfect storm of timing, machinery, and luck, became extraordinary. That's what collectors love, the hunt for that one mistake, that one beautiful imperfection, hidden in the most common of places. So, if you're someone who enjoys collecting coins or even just checking your spare change, this is the kind of discovery you dream about. A 1972 5-cent piece that's in mint state condition, with full steps and a dramatic mint error, is not just a collectible, it's a treasure. And now, the moment you've been waiting for: how much could one of these rare 1972 nickels actually be worth? A verified, top-grade 1972 Jefferson nickel with full steps and a significant error has sold for as much as $63,000. Yes, you heard that right, $63,000 for a coin that most people would overlook as just another nickel. So next time you come across a 1972 nickel, don't be so quick to spend it. Take a moment. Grab a magnifying glass. You never know, one small coin could turn into a life-changing discovery. If you enjoyed this story and want more incredible coin finds, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell. There are still countless treasures hiding in plain sight, and we're here to help you find them. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.